Hello everyone, I'm Khorne from Tactica Imperialis, and this is this week's episode of A New Age. So today I want to talk about this guy, and these guys, and these guys, and pretty much everyone I've got. I didn't have a lot of newly painted, newly built stuff, so I thought I'd do sort of an overall army-wide content thing, just to show off my collection as a whole as it is thus far, because to be honest I wasn't aware I had quite this much. So if I can just fit everything in. So I'm going to kind of just whiz through things, sort of explain what I'm doing with them, and any sort of little bits of conversion work and whatnot. So we'll go from left to right, so we'll start with the, wow, my mind's gone blank. Skull Crushers, Mighty Skull Crushers, that's the one. I was thinking blood. It's got to be something blood, but no. No, so Mighty Skull Crushers. So I've got 6 of them, straight out of the box, basically. Absolutely no conversions anywhere. We've got one finished. So that is the colour scheme for these guys. So all the Juggernauts are going to have the sort of bone plates there, the red sort of lacquer, and then a mix of sort of bone and plate on the rider. For the yeah, I'm going to do them all. The banner's going to be a bit interesting because I've not much scope for freehand, but I might do a similar thing to what I'll show you in a sec. So after those we have my 2 Khorgoraths. So this is what I'm thinking of doing on the banner. You see where his tentacles are layered down from like the green right the way through to the red. I think I'm going to do that on the banner just to tie it in with the rest of the fabrics, but also not do it completely blue. So the first Khorgorath is assembled straight from the box. Pretty bog standard. Really happy with how this guy's come out. If you go on my Twitter, you'll be able to see some much sort of better quality photos of him, and even if I do say so myself, I think he's wonderfully painted. I'm really happy with him. Behind him we've got the Bloodstoker, who I hated to start with, as I'm sure you'll remember from previous episodes, but I actually do quite like this fella now, and I've got used to him. He was sort of my almost test model after one of the Blood Reavers, just to see what the blue for the hair would look like, and I'm obviously, as you can tell, I really quite like it, so I've kept it throughout the entire army here. The next Khorgorath I did quite a bit of conversion work on. Well, not quite a bit. I did a head swap with the Dracoth from the starter set, which I think looks nice, because the other Khorgorath's lovely, but I think his head's just a little bit too small, so this one looks a bit more imposing. And then I used what was left of his head and the hair from the other Blood Secretor to make this like claw and a little lash. Yeah, I might paint that as a little flame, I might just paint it as more hair, I'm not entirely sure. But I think he's quite a nice model. I did have to do a little bit of green stuff work, there's a little bit of filling gone on behind his head. And then a little bit of filling around there, but nothing too major there. But yeah, I look forward to painting up another one. He'll be painted almost exactly the same as that guy, just to tie them in. So then I've got my 5 Flesh Hounds here. Now these ones haven't been finished. They're still got a little bit of green stuff work needed to do around their necks for 2 reasons basically. If you look, they've got like a big join mould on all of them where you slot the heads on, and I think it looks a bit naff. But also I'm gonna kind of disguise that by putting collars on them, and I'll show you that when we come to the other 5 that I have done. We've got my 5 Wrathmongers, who are straight out of the box. No conversions at all on them. Just trying to work out the best posing. I'm still not too sure on the champion's pose with his little hammer that comes down front of his base, but I think once you paint it up, it'll be fine. You won't notice. I do plan on getting a lot more of these, so I can run the formation with them, which I think would be really cool. I really like the models. I really like their rules. They're really wonderful. I want to paint them up, but as I've said in the previous episode, I'm doing this sort of campaign thing with sort of a champion and his honour guard. So I've done my mounted force, which I'm just going to sort of whiz through now, the last little parts of. But yeah, after I've done that, I'll get those guys painted up. You'll hear me using them in small games. You might see some games over Christmas between me and Mike with them. But I'm going to try and only use painter models, so I've got to kind of blitz it before Christmas. So I've got my 2 chariots next, my 2 Gorbeast chariots. There's very little conversion work going on here. All I've done is head swaps on the charioteers. I can just get them into focus. Yeah, so there's that one and that one there for more cornate heads. Just because I didn't like the Khorne one that came in the box, it was too sort of berserkery. and I quite like my guys to be sort of a more martial army, because I don't really, as I've kind of previously mentioned, I think I'm not too keen on the aspect of Khorne as like this mad butcher. I quite like the sort of more skilled idea that he has. So these are my like biggest sort of conversions, and they're the Skull Reapers. So you get twice the amount of torsos to legs in the Wrathmonger's box, and then you get all the bits to make the Skull Reapers. So really the only bits they share are the legs. And I had a look at the legs, and then I had a look at the Stormcast I got in the box, and the legs are really, really similar. So these guys, as you can see with this guy here, we've still got quite a bit of green stuff work to do on his back, just to fill in this and give him his plate sort of back to it. But the legs fit really nicely. But quite a bit of green stuff's had to be put around to just sort of blend in the seams. But yeah, so I've got built up. I've got one regular guy, the champion, when it comes into focus. There we go, and a guy with a spine cleaver, I believe, the non-demon weapon ones, because they hit better and they wound better, and I want these guys to sort of run around a bit more unsupported. I know the demon weapon ones work well with the Bloodstokers, but I don't know. We'll see what I do. I'll probably still run them without demon weapons, just because the mortal wound on a 6 is alright, but the mortal wound back to yourself on a 1's not great either, so it's kind of like more risk versus more reward. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like they'd run just as well with hitting on 3s rather than hitting on 4s. Because the sort of mortal wounds, unless they're supported, sort of like even each other out. It's a 1 in 6 chance either way, and then you hit on 4s versus hitting on 3s, so I prefer them to hit on 3s. But you know, that's kind of a talk for another day. I'm rambling a bit there. We've got my 30 Blood Reavers. I've still got 10 to assemble, and I've only got 1 command built up so far. I don't think I'm going to bother building another command, and I might get a box of them later down the line and have 2 big units of 30. That way I don't have to have the same command twice, and it means they can look a little bit more varied, because the regular guys, you don't notice that there's like lots of duplicates in there, especially when they're all painted, you won't. But like if you've got duplicates of the same command, like the same banner, the same musician, the same chieftain, I think it's chieftain, then you know it'll start to look like I've just got lots and lots of duplicate models, which I have, but I want to kind of disguise that a bit more. But so, and obviously because the command is like a focal point, that will help too. And then if I sort of like the other 20, if I put 10 in each, just sort of like spew them around a bit, hopefully it won't be too noticeable that there's like loads and loads of duplicates. We've got at the back here, we've got another Bloodstoker who's been quite heavily converted. I'll just pick him up and have a look at him. So he's made from the Bloodsecrator's body, with a hand from the Wrathmonger kit, a little dagger. I've then sort of like spliced his whip onto that, like trailing behind him. Used the where's the focus gone? Okay. Used the head from the Bloodstoker. Sorry about this. There we go. Head from the Bloodstoker, but cut off the mandibles, or the ears, or whatever you want to call them. And then I've just sort of like cut off his little hand thing and put that onto the sort of shaft of the mace. I think it looks quite nice. There's a little bit of green stuff work to be done just next to my finger there on that flat plate of metal. But apart from that, I don't think he needs a lot of doing. I just had to fill in a bit on the back of his head because I didn't want him to have his poofy hair. But I think he's a really, I don't know, quite a nice conversion. I'm really quite happy with him. Happier, I think, than the Khorne, because it doesn't even look like that much of a conversion. So then, yeah, we've got the other 5 of my Flesh Hounds. These ones have the collars green stuffed on. So if you look, there's the, it blends through. There's the studded collar. I tried doing them spiked, but the spikes were just ridiculous in proportion to the rest of the model. So I've gone for the studded ones. I think they look quite alright. But it's mostly just to sort of let people know that they are definitely supposed to be Flesh Hounds. I do really like the models as Flesh Hounds. I think they look quite nice. They fit well with the colour scheme, and yeah, it also fills in that horrible gap that you get. I've got my 10 Blood Warriors after this, with full command now, because I got a spare banner with the Wrathmongers, So I've cut the hand off of this guy from the second box and just sort of stuck the banner in, and I think it looks pretty decent. He doesn't look too out of place like that. Yeah, I think he looks alright. So I can feel these as a big unit of 10, because I think as a unit of 5 they're a bit underwhelming. They don't really do much. They tend to sort of die and just die, really. They don't die as quickly as the Blood Reavers, but they don't really tend to do as much damage as them either, so they're a bit naff. They're like Chaos Warriors, they're just a bit naff. But hopefully, you know, if I'll start playing some more games, a bigger blob of them, they'll have a bit more impact, and I'll be able to see how they actually perform as a full-sized unit, as opposed to a small minimum unit of 5. So there's the 10 of those, and then I've just got my 3 characters at the front. I've knocked him off his base again. No conversion work here at all, straight from the box. Same with the Blood Secretor. I really need to paint up all of these models, but I feel like the Blood Secretor has got to be painted up at some point fairly quickly, once I've got my mounted force done. Because I'm going to want to use him in every game, and I'm going to say to myself, no, you've got to only use painted models, so he needs to get painted up next. But yeah, that's kind of the whole army. I've gone through the conversion here in the previous episode from the Dracoth with the spare head, and then lots of green stuff, chainmail and bits and bobs. But I'm really happy with him as a model. I think he's quite a nice, not centerpiece perhaps, because I think the Bloodthirster would be much more of a centerpiece, but quite a nice sort of, you know, focal point for the army. So yeah, that is my entire collection. In terms of going forward, I'm probably not going to add anything. I say probably, I probably will, but I'm hoping I don't need to add anything to it until the other side of Christmas, just because me and Mike are doing like a little Secret Santa between ourselves, just sort of a congratulations for getting this far on the channel kind of a thing, and he doesn't want me to buy whatever he's ending up getting me, which I completely understand. So I'm not gonna outbuy him to it. So yeah, but after that, I'm thinking probably, I don't know really. I've said I want to get some more Blood Reavers, but I don't think that's like at the top of my list. I don't think that's like a high priority. Maybe some more of these guys so I can run the formation, which would be quite cool. More Wrathmongers. Maybe more Blood Warriors if they start doing something interesting. And then some sort of big beastie. I am thinking a Bloodthirster would be lovely. But I might get a few more Demons of Khorne before I get the Bloodthirster, just so that his command ability is not useless. Although I probably won't make him my general. I'll probably just have him as like a massive monster. But I'll work out, once I've got him, I'll think of some alternate ways to sort of run these guys, because I've already got a few little builds coming in. So obviously there's the cavalry build I've got. There's a more elite build with the Blood Warriors and the Skull Reapers, that's the word. I can go for a bit of more of a Horde, lots and lots of bodies kind of a build with Bloodstokers, and obviously Blood Secretor is going to be pretty integral to most of these. I could, with the Bloodthirster, go for just sort of like buff the hell out of the Bloodthirster one with the Wrathmongers and the Blood Secretor, and then obviously that would work well with the Horde as well. So I've got lots and lots of things that get buffed to have more attacks. I feel that could work fairly well. The Korgoraths, whilst lovely models, don't really fit into anything. They're just naff. I might get another one and see if they work alright as a unit of 3, but they've been really underwhelming thus far. I mean, I've not used 2 of them at once against anything but ogres yet, because I've not had the chance, but they got pulled apart in a single round by a unit of ogre bulls, so you know, they're not very sturdy. They might be alright at taking on light infantry on a flank, because they don't need a lot of support, and then obviously they force battle shock test, they can kind of heal any damage they take. But I feel like apart from that, they've not just got high enough movement to do it. They're only movement 6, so yeah, they're just a bit naff, which is a shame because they're really pretty. But like I said, I might end up with another one at some point, and run them as a unit of 3, which I think could work. I could get up to 8. If a kit comes out that actually makes them, then you'll probably see some more of them. But as it is, I don't think I want too many in the same pose, so there'd have to be an awful lot of conversion work going on. So yeah, definitely expect to see more of this painted, and especially more of the mounted and Flesh Houndy side of it. Hopefully I'll have those mostly painted up in the next couple of weeks. So the updates are going to be pretty slow. I might do them on a sort of a bi-weekly basis after this point, just because there's nothing new coming in, and it'll be like, okay, so this week I've painted 2 more Skull Crushers. So I might update this a little bit less regularly until I can get some battle reports and things in. But that's kind of where I am at the moment. And yeah, I hope you appreciate me sharing all of these models I've only just realised I've got with you. Because I've been keeping them in little boxes and, you know, just to save space, and I've not really got them all out in the same place. And I'm like, Jesus, that's a fair few models I need to paint. So yeah, wish me luck with the painting. Feel free to sort of like, comment and subscribe, and if you want to follow us on Twitter, the links will be in the description. We've got a Facebook page that Mike does a lot more on than me, but you can see some things on there. And yeah, happy gaming, and wish me luck with all the painting.